Okay, hello and welcome everyone to another stream of Network Programmability Lab. This is Dmitry, DevNet hat, DevNet shirt, and we are ready to roll. So, thank you very much for joining live. It's already like 13th stream of Network Programmability Lab, and before that we already had, I think, seven more, so it's around 20 something. So I think it's pretty solid number considering that I usually stream from like 3 hours or so. Last week we didn't have a stream, and the reason why is because I was in San Jose. We had one internal event, internal training for systems engineers. So I spent 1 week in Silicon Valley, which was a really great experience. I really liked the place. The weather is awesome. The city itself is quite beautiful as well. But quite expensive as well. Also yesterday, no, it actually was already on Friday. I had some time, and me and a friend of mine, we went to Golden Gate, and this was my first time in California, so this was pretty memorable experience for me. Golden Gate is amazing. You can see a photo of myself there. It's really awesome place to visit, and I would like to spend some more time there at some point. We didn't have a lot of time on Friday, but yeah, I was really impressed by the bridge. Yep. So this was my trips that took a week, but now I am back, and I actually came back like 4 hours ago. But I decided to keep the schedule of the streams, so we keep going. Let me see, there are some comments in the chat. Hi, Wise Van Cat, and hey Roman. Nice to see you folks joining. So unfortunately, I also got sick while I was on the bridge. It's quite chilly there in the evening, and windy as well. And as you can probably hear, my voice has changed. I got some cold, so it's possible that today on the stream you'll have a little bit more breaks than usual, and maybe the stream itself will be a little bit shorter because I don't feel 100%. Okay, so another announcement is the contest. So during my week in San Jose, I managed to get, let me see if you can see this all right. I managed to get this book. It's Software-Defined Access book, printed copy. There is also electronic version which is available for free to everyone, but I have a printed copy. Actually, I have a couple of them, and one of them will be giveaway for you guys, for people who join the stream regularly. So here are some rules for this contest. Okay. So what I want you to do is choose one of two things, or you can actually choose both. So either I would like to hear a story, what you gained from the stream. Okay, so maybe started learning network programmability on your own because you started attending my stream, or maybe you took one of the applications or scripts that I wrote live and actually hacked it together for your environment and applied there. So I would like to hear those stories connected to my stream somehow. So this is one option. Another option is you can also send me an idea for the stream, and what I would like to see there is some interesting use case. It could be also from your work as well. The idea, implementation of idea should not take longer than 2 streams, so around like 5-6 hours tops. So between those two, I will select one, either story or the idea that I like the most. To send your submissions, please use an email address that you should be able to find down below. And for now, let's have like maybe 3 weeks, and if there will be not enough submissions, we will extend this. So 3 weeks is our first deadline, let's put it that way. For now, I'm sure that there will be no problem shipping this to US or within Europe. If you live in another place, I can guarantee 100% that the shipping cost will not be too high. So if I choose your story, then I will contact back to you and you'll decide if it's US or European Union. So this is absolutely no problem. But if it's some other place, we will have to decide if the shipping cost is not too high. Okay. So send me your submissions. I will be glad to review all of them and choose the winner. Okay, so, and the last announcement is I will be in Cleveland, Ohio in 1.5 weeks for PyCon. So if you are joining PyCon, please let me know so we can meet, we can talk in person. I think that would be pretty cool. Okay, good. So I think we should start. So let me see what we have here. Let me bring up my GNS3. Okay, GNS3, console, PyCharm. Yeah. So also another thing that I did is this week I upgraded my GNS server to 18.4 Bionic Beaver, new LTS release of Ubuntu, and apparently I broke something. So at least one issue that I discovered is my IP address pool for management has changed from 122, the third octet, to 123. So apparently, if I want to apply all of my previous scripts, I will have to change that. Okay. So let me log into one of the devices. Okay, this one is stuck in boot, perfect. Let me connect to a couple of those. Okay, this will still take some time, and maybe I will need to reload them as well. So I think I got only prompt on this one, ISP1P1, and all others are broken. That's nice. Well, if they don't boot up properly, I actually have a backup, so it should be alright. I have some other devices in the lab I use. Okay, so while they're booting, let me remind you what we did last time. So on the previous stream, we started covering NETCONF, which is part of this broader topic called model-driven programmability. And the idea here is that you can interact with the device in a structured way, unlike CLI, which was designed for humans. So NETCONF is for machines. It can be considered as an API or as a network device. Using NetConf, you can control both operational data and configuration data, so you can change your config, and you should be able to pull some statistics like counters and so on and so forth. So on the last stream, we started this journey, and what I was showing you is how to create a raw NetConf RPC calls just using SSH. So we were connecting via SSH to device to the NetConf subsystem on port 830, and then we were sending raw NetConf RPC requests. Okay, so I have a prompt for at least this guy, so this is some good news. This one are still booting. Okay. So yeah, we were sending raw NetConf RPC requests to change something or to get some data. And let me try to find. Oh, I think I committed this one where I saved most of the samples that I used to a file, and I committed that to my GitHub repo. Yeah, by the way, if this is the first time you join the stream, below the stream you can find a GitHub link where everything that I am doing on the stream is there, so you can check it out and you can download it. So this is a typical example. What I'm highlighting here on my screen right now is a typical example of NetConf RPC. So it's there is XML header, then we wrap this in NetConf RPC, then we say what kind of NetConf message we would like to send. In this case it's get config. This get config, you need to provide the source, where I say, okay, I want to get running config from running data store, and then it ends with this interesting combination of symbols. We are changing the host names, we are replacing all VRFs, we were merging loopbacks, and so on. So there was one thing that I was trying to do on the stream last time and it didn't work, and I was trying to get it working but I couldn't. So let me remind you, and I got some more details from my colleagues in engineering actually about that. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to replace all loopbacks with a single NetConf RPC. So I wanted to say, okay, if I have this loopbacks defined, I would like to replace all loopbacks that exist there with this loopbacks, okay? And I couldn't do that. So, and the reason why is, let me go back to to the Yank repo and use PyYank tool. So if we go to vendor, Cisco XC 1671, oh, this will be painful, by the way. Let's see. Let's do 3 depths. PyYank F3, Cisco SXC, native Yank, 3 depths will be 2. Oh, right. By the way, yeah, I submitted the bug to PyYank on the last stream, and 2 days later the guy came back to me and saying that he fixed it. So let me actually try upgrading PyYank. Yeah, here it is. I think I will need to do actually 3. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. So when you refer to native Yank model, you have a structure like this. The leaf interface. Sorry, it should be containers. Okay, it should be container interface. But then you have all of this. You have a list where name of the interface is a key. So you can't replace just loopbacks. You can replace config for all of the interfaces at the same time, but not the loopbacks. But not just loopbacks. So you actually, if you want to do replace, you would need to put all of your physical interfaces here in the same RPC query, and then you will be able to do replace. Otherwise you will not be able to. And the reason why replace is extremely powerful and probably one of the most important things that you can find in NetConf is because with a replace you can guarantee the state of your configuration. This is something that is really hard to achieve with just basic CLI. I would say it's close to impossible. Think about this situation, and let me bring up my text editor here. Hold on. Stream. Okay. The reason why this is important is you would want to control the state of network configuration, which is a hard task to do. For example, imagine you have in some kind of variables you have defined, maybe in YAML file or JSON or whatever you like to use. You defined that you need a VLANs, let's say 50 and 60, okay? And then you create a Ansible template from this, and you convert this to CLI VLANs 5060 in iOS, okay? Everything is great. Until the next moment where you say, well, actually I want to have, instead of VLANs 50 and 60, I would like to have VLANs 50 and 70, okay? So if using CLI template, what you will result is it will apply config, let's say Ansible will apply config VLANs 50 and 70, and end result will be VLANs 50, 60, 70. Okay, you didn't purge the VLAN that was modified. This can be done using CLI template, but it's extremely complex actually. So what you would need to do is you would need to have something like this. Actually, something like this. Purge true, and then number is 70, something like this. So this is kind of stuff where whatever you want to delete, you put some kind of flag like purge true. Then in your CLI template you would say like this: if let's say this for VLAN in VLANs, if VLAN dot purge is defined, and if VLAN purge is defined, then you would say no VLAN, and then something like VLAN dot number, and then if else, let's put else, then you would say VLAN number, something like this. Okay, and for every single command you would need to define an equivalent purge command, so the command that will delete what you have done. So with this way you can just add additional flags that, okay, I would like to delete this VLAN, and it will delete it with this kind of template. So now probably if you imagine this, your templates will be extremely hard to do. Basically, for every single command you would need to create you need to create a purge command equivalent. So this is just hard task to do in Ansible. What is being done in Ansible right now is they create specific modules like IS VLAN that do this. They get current VLANs or other config, extract VLAN numbers, compare with what you have defined, apply specific delete commands, apply necessary config. Okay, so this is what is being done right now. However, the problem is when you want to customize something, you know, this feature is like not implemented. For example, module IS-L2 interface, again a new module in Ansible 2.5. What you can do here is you can say, you can assign VLAN, you can say it's access or trunk, you can define allowed VLAN list, and that's fine. However, what you want to manage much more configuration, right? You would probably want to mess with spanning tree. Okay, spanning tree, cost, maybe port fast. You apply some other commands, like, I don't know, maybe you disable DTP, for example, DTP CDP. You apply QoS, for example, right? So for all of this stuff, you would have to define your own template because it's not implemented in this module. This means that we are back to the problem of creating the templates. So you'll see if you start using these new modules, they are okay, but you'll see that it's hard to solve business problems using these modules actually. So this was just basic CLI push. There is an alternative when you use NetConf, is you define your operation replace in some element. Actually, let me put it here. Yeah, so you can apply operation replace on most of your elements, and what it means is that with whatever new variables you have defined, it will replace what is currently there. So for example, if you had already some VRFs and you applied this, it will replace all of them with only one VRF. The same applies for interface, and as I already described last time, we were trying to replace only loopbacks, but this can't be done using the Yank model that exists right now. So, but you can replace config for all of the interfaces, and that will work. So you, for example, apply this, and this will actually purge all old VRFs that are on the device. So that's why pushing config using netconf is much better, on top of all other things that I discussed last time, like telemetry, like transactions, all of that stuff. So even just using this feature, it's much more easier to control state of network configuration. This is why NetConf is a very important protocol, and I really advise you guys to start learning it if you didn't already. The more we move into the automated way of applying config, most likely NetConf will be the most widely used one. Okay. Oh, so, and if you remember me discussing this last time, I told you that even with this, I mean, this is much better, applying this operation replace commands. However, the problem is you still will have to write your XML using templates. So if you would like not to do that, then your choice would be Cisco NSO. I will cover it at some point, not obviously today, but the idea there is that it automatically converts all running configs on multiple operating systems, including third-party vendors as well, to model, and then you can change only the variables in the model and it will apply all necessary configs there. So this is in very brief the idea behind NSO. I told you a little bit more last time. Okay, I think we are done with all of this preparation / announcements / agenda. Today we are going to explore NetConf using Ansible. So we will be actually writing XML templates, Jinja templates in Ansible using NetConf interface, which appeared in 2.5. So in 2.5 you have Ansible connection. Let me actually open one of those. You have, let me see, not this one, provision, no. Yeah, so you have here Ansible connection, network CLI, network_CLI. This appeared in 2.5. And also in 2.5 there is an alternative to this, which is NetConf. So if you just put NetConf and then you define your templates in Jinja2 style, then you will be able to do NetConf. This is what we will be doing today. Also, if you will have some time, we will try covering YDK. And it's actually interesting that one person got back to me on Twitter asking to cover YDK, and his opinion was that it's kind of like the ultimate use of NetConf using Python. And at some point, and I actually disagreed with him, and at some point I really believed that YDK is probably the best way to do NetConf using Python. Excuse me, of course Python. Sorry, it's really actually hard to think clearly while being a little bit sick. So let me briefly describe to you the idea behind YDK and my opinion on that, and then later, after we discovered Ansible, we will try to do something with YDK. So the idea behind YDK is you take the models, the Yang models, and you convert them to Python objects. You compile them to Python objects, and then you, instead of generating XML, in Python code you will refer to like native objects. So instead of writing this you would say like something like model.interface.loopback.name is equal to this, and so on. So you use native Python objects to create the XML or to parse the data received from the get operations. So and I was really interested in project up until the point where I realized that. So okay, let me cover it from different perspective. So while the idea is interesting, that you can use just pure Python to do all of your NetConf magic, there are a couple of problems. One of them is being you install the library with compiled models, which is specific for particular software release. So this means that you can install Yang models for YDK for different versions. Okay, so you can't have in one application models for 16.7.1 and 16.3.1. This doesn't work because they are all compiled in Python package based on the ISXC release or any or release or of other model types like OpenConfig and ietf. Okay, so this is one problem. The second problem is you would still need to know the path in YDK how you need to refer to objects. Okay. It's a little bit easier than just constructing XML, but it's still some work. You need to explore the model. The second one. The third one is it becomes really hard to separate your variables from the actual code or template. So using XML, it's very easy to have a template in Jinja which will generate a proper XML for you, and then you will have variables in different places. For example, in Ansible playbook, somewhere like in host vars, like here, something like this. Okay. So you have this, and then you create a template, you create XML using Jinja2. With YDK, you can't really do that because all of your objects are bound to, they are Python models and objects. Okay, so all of the young models are Python objects. So it means you can't really separate this kind of template from variables. You may separate variables, but all of your template will be actually part of the code, which is not, from my perspective, which is not the best way. So as of today, I believe that using raw XML with NetConf makes more sense than using tools like YDK. Okay, there is a question in the chat from Vigi or VG, not 100% sure how to pronounce your nickname correctly. So, what are the best places to learn Python? Okay, so let me pull up a couple of resources. And hold on, I need to get a charger for my mouse because it just went dead. Sorry for the noise. Okay. Okay, I plugged my mouse, so it should be alright. So, resources to learn Python. Okay. So, I really recommend one of the courses from edX on Python. Actually, it's two-part course. So, one of them is this. Introduction Computer Science 6001X. So this is the first part, and I'll put the link in the chat. So this is how I started learning Python, and then there is another one. Let me try. It's actually a little bit hard to find it. Not this one. Design thinking, nope. Biology, nope. Too many courses. It's really hard to find the proper one. Let's try 600. Let's try finding the second one as well. Not this one, not this one. Let's try to filter based on this MIT school. No, okay, I think this one. Yeah, this is the one. So this is another part of the course. That said, the course is not extremely easy, just FYI. So I would start with this. Now there is also very, if you like gaming, you know, like gamification, you can use I think code fights. No, I don't think this is the one. No, not code fights. I don't remember, but there is another one which is check.io. You can use check.io for small challenges and in sometimes interesting tasks. I personally don't like doing this, but some people do. In terms of the books, there are two good Python books. One of them is Fluent Python. One of them is Fluent Python. Let me go to this link and copy the link to the chat. Fluent Python. And there is another one called Learn Python the Hard Way from Z Shaw. This book is very specific. Well, the author has very unique style, which is not for everyone. So you may like it or you may not. It really depends on like your personality, because yeah, the author has a little bit different approach than what you will see in other courses and books. So this is a book. So again, this kind of style may work for you, but it may not work for others. So you know, you really should try and see if that works for you. Also, the good one is Code Academy. So among all of the like online paid courses, this is probably one that stands out. This one. You will need Pro account, I guess. I haven't taken their just Python course. I have taken their Django course. And it was pretty amazing. Like, I was literally surprised by high quality of the course. Let me see. Programming, Python. Yeah, so they have two Python courses. So I used them for Django. It's very high quality courses. Gamified, and all of the stuff is interactive and stuff. But my general advice is not try to learn everything, but try to learn the basics to keep you going, and think about some real world task. You know, if just, yeah, whenever you learn language, try to think of how can I apply it, right? So think of some specific task in mind, automate, I don't know, some Excel spreadsheet, or something like this. Something that is not hard, that is small. And this is extremely important because it's one thing to just learn the language on your own, but if you don't apply it, it's basically useless. You just forget. You don't develop skills. You may go through the course. You think you understood it. You did some hands-on or maybe not, but it's completely different experience where you actually have some task in mind and then you learning something and you're trying to hack something together to get your idea working. So this is extremely important to have something that you could work on once you have some basics, once you have learned some basics. If you do that, you will be in good shape and it will become more interesting for you. You will get satisfaction from your results and some additional motivation to keep going. So this is what I advise people to do. Okay, I hope that was useful for you, Vicky. Let me know if you have any other questions. And meanwhile, we are going back to our task at hand, which is doing Ansible. So first, let me see what is the status of our CSRs. Okay, so I have at least one. Put it properly. This one seems to be dead. Not good. And this one seems to be dead. Yeah, this is what happens when you just upgrade stuff. That's good that we have at least one. Let me see if it has config, which it does. No, that's not good. That's not good, unfortunately. So yeah, I shouldn't have upgraded my operating system. Definitely. I think I broke my key VM. Let's see what's happening here. Keep alive, not received. Well, we have at least 2 devices. Plus I have some backup devices up and running for this lab. Okay, this one crashed. Haha, nice. And yeah, this one also seems to be crashing. Keep alive, not received. Yeah, that was a stupid move to upgrade 16.4 to 18.4. Okay then, so give me a second. I will try to find one of the devices in the lab that should be up and running. By the way, yeah, so first of all, I have found one device, one CSR 1671, and this will be actually even better because I will be able to access it directly from my computer, not from my Jinja2 server. So let me stop the whole topology because rebooting CSRs do not help. And let me do this. Let me just quickly Google if some other people have problem. Jinja2 18.4 QEMU. Oh, some problems. Some people had problems here with QEMU and KVM here as well. Yeah, that wasn't wise move, unfortunately. Okay, let's not waste any more time. We have one device to keep us going. This one. Let me first check. I should be able to SSH to it. So I should be able to say Cisco at 10.48.18.24 P830 minus S oh no NETCONF Cisco So I see hello message, I should reply with, I see capabilities, I should reply with hello. Let me pull up the samples. Hello, is this? And now I can say get config. And I receive all config on the SSH. Okay, so netconf is working. So now let's actually add this device to inventory of Ansible. I think I will have to rearrange some stuff. Yeah, so I have to do this. I have to create a new folder. This will be called Jinja2. And I need to move host YAML group and host variables there. Okay. Actually incorrect. I need to have another directory called inventories. And I move Jinja2 there. And now I create another one which is called development. No, let's do dev. Dev is alright. So in dev we would need to create also group vars, host YAML. Okay, so we will have we just have R1 Ansible host 10.48.18.24 should be like this. And no, it should not be Ansible connection local. It should be, well, actually here it will be NETCONF. User being env Python, that's alright. Let's do Python 3. No, Python is fine. Username, it should be Cisco. Okay, so now we also need a host vars. And actually I would like to have group vars as well. Group vars. We'll have file here called all.yaml. This part is going to be moved here. Okay, and here we will have file called r1.yaml, and we will be specifying different stuff here. Okay. Okay, so I actually have a couple of VRFs, but I want to remove the old syntax. So I'm going to remove this. No IP VRF1. Okay, we'll create one called VRF. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. We were playing with this last time, so I should be able to get it done. So let's try. No interface. I delete interface. I will delete right now operation here. So let's say I will have VRF called stream. And we will not change the host name. Let me see. Yeah, this seems alright to me. So I put it directly into SSH and it says OK. So now I should go to the device and I should be able to say show run VRF. And indeed I see this VRF was applied. Okay. So let's do this stuff with VRFs. Let me think for a second. What do we will need to do? First we create a new, actually, you know what? Let me copy this one, provision. Let's do netconf examples. Provision network sounds about right. Gather facts, no. I don't like specifying gather facts now everywhere. Gathering explicit. Actually need this stuff. This one and gathering explicit. Okay. So hosts, I can use all. I have only one device. I don't need gather facts, I don't need connection, I don't need this one. I need tasks, and this first task will be configure VRF. Okay. Let me see an example somewhere. Ansible 2.5 NETCONF. I will need this one as well. Network OS, Ansible user, and Ansible SSH. Oh, actually, I need all of those. Okay. Dev, group vars, hosts. Okay, this looks alright. Sorry folks that I'm not as talkative as I am usually. It's yeah, my throat is hurting a little bit. I don't need provider anymore, but I will need template. Let's do templates, folder, conf. Let's do file, new template, VRF-J2. Okay, so we will create a new VRFs. So for VRF, in VRFs, now, if VRFs is defined and if, and we will need and for as well. For VRF, in VRFs, okay. So this goes here if VRF is defined. And if, and here you'll say for VRF, in VRFs. No, this is actually incorrect. Yeah, I think it should be on one level above. Okay. If VRF is defined, VRF operation replace. Okay. For VRF, in VRFs, and for, okay, this will be VRF.name here you'll have to define what address families. You would need to say if VRF.IPv4 is defined, and VRF IPv4 should be, and if, and similar stuff for IPv6. And if. Okay, this looks good to me. Okay, so now we have to specify the variables. We need to say here VRFs. This will be a list where VRF can have a name, extreme. Let's do NETCONF. And then I can say IPv4 true. And then I will have name yang IPv4 true, IPv6 true. I think that's all for now. Operation replace, yeah, everything looks good to me. Oh, also you'll have to delete something. I definitely don't need RPC. Let's do this. Ansible is NETCONF. No examples. I believe there was at least one. Let me try. I don't remember the name. I think this was sample. No. I can't find it. This is depressing. Cisco Campus Ansible Playbook. Here it is. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure they were using Ansible. Oh, they were using connection local, but I think it should be all right. Let's see. The roles. Support host. Config. Yeah, it should start with config. Okay, and they were applying isconfig using src. Okay, seems to be straightforward. So I should start my playbook with config. If VRF is defined, this ends here. 4 ends here. VRF name IPv4. Yeah, this looks good to me, this part. Okay. So thank you for the question, Lost and Flint? No, Lost and Fent. Sorry, it's actually the color of your nickname is so bright I can't even read it. So thank you for the question. So since Ansible 2.5, they release support for a bunch of vendors, and they released new interfaces. So they released new interfaces called Network CLI and NetConf. This means that for the supported vendors, which could be found in their 2.5 release notes, I think it's IS, ISXR, Arista, Juniper, and something else. So for supported vendors, all of the vendor specific modules, which are like IS config, IS something, IS blah blah blah, XR something, XR config, and so on. Those modules anymore, they do not connect to the devices themselves. The only thing they do, they spit out resulting config, either CLI config or resulting NetConf XML basically. In fact, they don't do anything at all, right? So yeah, they just basically they are creating config from the template, and then the native interface in Ansible, like Network CLI or NetConf, with specific network OS, will actually do all the magic of connecting and applying it. So, for example, here in group variables all, I have Ansible connection netconf and Ansible network OS IS. Okay, so IS config right now, where is this? NetConf examples. IS config right now works as just a config generator from templates. That's the only thing it is doing right now. Okay, so templates, NetConf, VRFJ2. Okay, this looks good to me. Let's see. I may miss something, but maybe not. Okay, let's try. Let's try. So now, because everything is local, well, the device that I have is not in GNS3 anymore, but it's actually on my local network. I should be able to run the whole playbook. Okay, source cultural ends net devops bin activate. Okay, pip freeze grab Ansible. Okay, pip install u pip. And pip install u Ansible. No, actually there is 2.5.2. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now I should be able to start Ansible. I have some concerns. No, it should be alright. Okay, let's try. So I need to go to Ansible, no, scripts, Ansible, network programmability lab. Okay, so Ansible playbook, -i, inventories, def. This should be correct. And then netconf -examples.yaml. What? No. Connection type netconf is not valid for this module. Interesting. Okay. NetConf only for Junos in 2.5. That's unfortunate. I will need to fall back to connection local, I guess. Maybe there is specific module for NetConf. Let me check that. Module index, network. Yes, there is NetConf module for XR. Yeah, I will need to do the same thing we did for this one. So I will need to use provider. And I will need to use connection local, I guess. Can you try with Junos? If it just spits out NetConf over SSH, shouldn't it work? Oh, by the way, thank you very much for changing the color. It's so much easier to read right now. You know what? I think you have an interesting idea that I'm willing to try. Let's pretend that we are Junos, right? So where it is now? If this works, this will be so funny. Okay. So for the first test, let me leave this one as iOS, but if it doesn't work, I will try Junos. Oh god. Connection type netconf is not. What the hell? Connection type netconf is not valid for Junos netconf module. You know why it doesn't work? Because it's trying to apply it to candidate config. Damn it. But the idea was brilliant though. Because yeah, we would need to apply it to the candidate store in Junos first, which is not available on ISXC. Unsupported capability candidate. So it actually tries to connect. It sees that it doesn't support capability candidate and fails. Yes, that's unfortunate. Okay, we'll need to wait for 2.6, I guess. to get this functionality, or we can hack a module ourselves, but that would take a couple of hours, I guess. I wonder, what about another existing modules that do support NetConf? Do they all have the difference? I have no clue, but I'm going to try applying the same way it was applied here. So using isconfig and provider, isconfig provider. Okay. I need to see provider. Provider host, user, SSH path, local accounts. Interesting. Let's open the README files. Okay, let's look on this again. So, provider, okay. There is module netconf config. Let me check that. I haven't seen it. This module supports the use of connection is equal to netconf. I think you're right. Thank you. Let's try this. So okay, let's leave provider intact. Let's have here. Oh, it worked. Man, thank you very much. Let's see. Show run VRF. Here it is, NETCONF and YDK VRFs. So yeah, for people who listen live or on the recording, take a look, take a pause here to look on this closely. You see that previously I had VRF definition stream. So using NETCONF, I was using NETCONF and the template which says replace. I was able to control that, okay, if I have NETCONF, if I have new VRFs, I will replace whatever exists there. Compared to, let's do this. Let me remove this part and go to R1 and let's add another one, stream, right? And let's reapply the playbook. Okay, so now there should be 3, right? Show VRF, show VRF. So now there are 3. Okay, netconf, stream and YDK. Now, what happens if I delete netconf, right? Nothing will happen because I removed the replace option. So right now you will see behaviors that you see in CLI. You just apply a new config on top of it, right? So this should not change anything. You see, I still see 3. Even though here I have only 2, right? So now let's leave this and let's go to our template and we'll say here operation is equal to replace. Lost and found. Thank you very much for following, man. And I really appreciate your help. I would spend another 30 minutes trying to find out how you can actually do it. Okay, so now I changed the replace here and let me reapply the playbook. Yeah. You see now that my netconf is deleted. Okay, so this operation replace is extremely powerful tool. Let's do this. First, let me open RFC. NETCONF RFC. There is delete operation that I want to see. Actually, I will try to remove this part and see what will be the result. Okay, so I removed the if statement, and now I am going to do this. Let's see if all VRFs will be deleted. This undefined. Okay, let me see if I will leave this empty. I think empty should, no, actually empty didn't work. Non-type is not iterable. Okay, yeah, so I will need RFC and I need to find replace. Okay, operation remove. Okay, so the proper template for this would be if this is defined, then this. Let's do else. This will be VRF operation is equal to remove. Okay, so I'm saying if the VRF variable is there, then run this, otherwise run operation remove. So let's try this. Let's remove this empty key and rerun this. Perfect, so now it is changed and now all VRFs should be removed, which they are. Perfect. So this part works just fine. I'm thinking if I should try doing like BGP as well, but maybe let's do this. I have another device. Give me a second. I have another device together with this CSR. Let me see. I want to configure something like EIGRP between them. Okay, this is 30. What is going on interface? Gigabit 3. It's the default interface gig 3. No interface loopback 0. Interface loopback. 9. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to create sub interface on gig 3. So this port gigabit 3 is a trunk between these two CSRs, so I can put any VLAN I want. Say VLAN 100 there. Let's do this. This one I will configure manually. Interface gigabit 3 100 and cap.1q 100, p address 164.02 or 01, let's say. Show run iNetConf. Okay. Show IP SSH version 2. Okay. Okay, I don't need this part. I will need another box. R2, and I need to modify my inventory. I will change IP address a little bit. Okay, so this is 30. Shall run I username Cisco. Okay. Let me get config SSH -s Cisco at 10.48.18.30 -p 8.30 netconf. Oops. Hold on. Where are my samples? And I need to get config but I need to apply filter though. Okay, as native interface. Okay, let's see. Gigabit Ethernet name 3 100 name encapsulation.1q VLAN ID 100.1q primary. Okay. So I need to create another template. Let's do L3 interface J2. Okay. So let's do this if.1q .1q VLAN is defined. Ideally, I need to write the filter which converts interface name like gigabit Ethernet 3.100 to interface type and number, but right now I am too lazy to do that. Okay, this looks good to me. This part should be changed. And I forgot the proper filters, I have to Google this. Okay, I need net mask definitely. So this will be IPv4 address through filter net mask, I guess. Let's check blocks. I can't find the correct one. I need notation without masks. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. I don't see it, even though I used it multiple times. I think it's host. Okay, I will try like this. So this looks good to me. Now we need to create a bunch of variables here. So interfaces, let's say type gigabit, Ethernet, number 3100, .1q, VLAN 100, IPv4 164.01/24. Okay. No, I forgot this part. Okay, let's hope for the best. Config native and then interface tag. Oh, damn it. Okay, I think this should work. There is some indentation problem. Okay. Let's save this and let's apply this only on R1, and we say configure L3 interfaces. Okay, I am ready. Interface is undefined. Oh. Let's see. Hopefully this one will work. Okay, it says configure it. So let's go to this device and see. Show in brief. Interesting. This is strange. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure about that .1. That's strange. Error editing is not a valid value. Yeah, I have to find the proper syntax. I'm looking on my notes because I have this documented for a future reference. Okay, I found it. So it should be address and then mask. Okay. Okay, changed. Now let's go here and let's see, show up interface brief. Here it is. So I should be able to ping another site, I guess, if I didn't forget to enable the interface. No, I should be able to ping. Okay, which I can. Perfect. So yeah, this is not actually hard, but still, like, this is quite a mess. And this is only like a couple of features. Okay, so this is how you can use NetConf with Ansible. We still have around 20 minutes or so. I think this is a good time to try showing you YDK. Maybe configure EHRP or something using YDK. Let me do this. So here, this one I'm going to configure EHRP manually. So I would want to say router EHRP1 network 164.0.255. You know what? Let's actually do it the proper way. So using named mod. So router EHRP stream address family IPv4 IPv4 unicast out IS let's say what 100 and here I think it's here network 64.0.0.0.0.255 show ietf interfaces. Okay, so we are sending hellos on this interface. Show IP interface brief. Let's create also loopback 0 100 IP address 165.2.2. On this guy I'm going to create loopback as well, but manually. Okay, and now let's go and do YDK. Okay, so for YDK, let me pull up my GitHub repo. I think it's devnet 2449. So for previous Cisco Live with minus, without minus. Okay. And then there is notebook, and then there is this notebook. I'm going to copy a bunch of code from there. Let me find YDK. Okay, let me do this pip install Jupyter. Okay, so this one will be 1048 1830 Cisco. No enable password. YDK samples py sample py. I think I will need to check what is version I have of YDK. And also there was let me find Docker file for this. Docker file, it says, what should I install? YDK model Cisco SXC. Yeah, another thing about YDK is it's pain in the ass to install, by the way. I think I have this. Or not. Okay, while it's loading, I'm not 100% sure it will succeed on Mac, so I will pull up my another of my servers. Correct. It generates native code from Yang model. I guess it's already a good time to start trying on maybe it will work. No. Yeah, this is pain in the ass. Let me do this. It is possible. Okay, I have YDK not in virtual env. Sixteen 6.1. Let me try reinstall all of this. Okay, meanwhile, let's see instruction for Ubuntu. And it is as part of subprocess. Good luck troubleshooting that. Okay, just for the test, let me repeat again. Maybe I did something incorrectly. Okay, I'm going to do something that I will regret the second I do it. Yeah, and they run it in a sub-process, which is super painful to troubleshoot. Failed with error, code 1. And of course, because this is a process, you can't see inside of it. There is some log. Okay, I will do this. I have models for 16.1, 16.6.1 installed previously. So for this stream we are going to use that. To IPython. Yeah, that was very painful. from YDK. No, let's do this. Import YDK models. Dear YDK models. YDK models file. Cisco ISXC. I don't see here EHRP model though. I think it's part of the native. Okay, so it will be YDK model Cisco SXC. Let's try this. Okay, seems to be, this part seems to be working. Actually, we will be exploring from here actually. Okay, let me see the example again. This one. Query object. CRUD read provider query. Okay, this will be XC native, I think interface. Okay, let's try this. So I need to copy this part. And now I need to copy this part. Module i16 native has no attribute interface. Interesting. Oh yeah, okay. So this is something like this. This will be query object. And it's an interface. Damn it. Interesting. I guess it should be like this. I don't remember exactly. So i16 native. Let's try this. Segmentation fault. Wow. Okay, let's do this. Perfect. This is unbelievable. Okay, I will need to do this from my machine here. Okay. Let's check if it will work here. Okay, while it's installing, let me refer back to my playbook to understand how I should query this. Seems pretty straightforward here. It's taking forever. Seems like that. Oh, yay! I managed to install it. Isn't this great? Okay, so oops, no. We need to install 16.7.1. Okay, and let's also install Jupyter if it's not installed. Okay, let's pray. Hmm. Where is this symbol coming from? Cannot import name Wi-Fi error. Wow. I will need to upgrade this and pray again for the best. Don't remember the last library, Python libraries that took me so long to like install. And bear in mind, I used YDK previously, so this is not like I'm the first time user. So honestly, I'm very frustrated. Okay, this part seems to be working. Let's continue. This looks better. Welcome to YDK. Okay, so since it's completely failing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check if my example with IETF model still works. This one. This seems to be working fine. Yeah, this looks okay. So apparently here, I don't know, they didn't import this or what, I don't know, but this doesn't work. IETF models work. So yeah, I mean, I would really love to show you an example of this native model, but it doesn't seem to work, so we will not be able to show this. That said, here's one of the examples with ietf model, but again, ietf model is close to being useless. You can't do much, so even if it works, even if it works, the code would look something like this. It's pretty easy, however, as I told you, you lose this ability to generate proper templates because all of your stuff will be in code. So this is the downside of YDK. And obviously installation process, which is like completely pain in the ass, is another thing that you need to keep in mind. You saw like how much I struggled on Mac. I followed the instruction and it still didn't work. On Ubuntu I installed it successfully using instruction, but then compiled models have errors, so that didn't work either. Yeah, so let me summarize. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions before we wrap it up. Okay, so there are a couple of comments. It seems really complicated to get working, but can see how YDK could be used for some cases, since seems to be able to do much more than just apply configuration. Do you have an example how would replace look in YDK? I don't have example how would replace look in YDK, unfortunately. As far as I know, the idea is very like similar to I mean, you should be able to do anything that you would do with NETCONF. It's just NETCONF and XML with YDK, or most of the stuff. So obviously you should be able to find a way to I think using crud dot let's do this clear crud dot update, you would be able to do replace, I guess, but I haven't tried. I'm not sure it's really that useful. Again, like, my biggest concern is that using XML and Jinja, you can generate the whole config using the variables like we saw before, and with this all of your data, right? So you would need to refer to it in the code, like model.routing.ehrp.network blah blah blah, right? So even though it feels like natural Python code, still, like, you would need to use that. That's why I don't really like it, because you can't do this disaggregation of your template, of your config data and your code. Plus, you can't use YDK with two different versions at the same time. You can only install one version of the library, obviously. So honestly, I personally don't see a use case for it. Maybe it's just some exploration. You get these nice Python objects, which is cool, but other than that, not so sure. Okay, so for today we looked how we can interact with NetConf using Ansible, NetConf interface, how to change configuration. I showed you the power of replace. Replace allows you to manage configuration state. We were trying to also play with YDK, but on Mac it failed completely. On Linux I was able to install it, but the latest model for 16.8.1 didn't work quite well, and it broke on the I think on the import statement even. So yeah, that also didn't work. I showed you the example with ietf-interfaces. You see, basically the whole idea behind YDK is to convert all Yang models to native Python objects. So instead of writing XML, you would write something like here, where I have interfaces.interface, interface.name, statistics, blah 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 with dot notation. So this is the power of YDK, and at the same time I think it's Achilles feet, because now all of your structure and what you have to do will be part of the code. It will not be part of the sum template. So this may be a benefit for some and downside for others. For me, it's a downside right now. So I feel like the XML and using disaggregation of variables and templates in the code makes most sense. Yeah, this is my personal opinion on that. Okay, so before we finish, first remember to participate in contest if you would like to get this book, which is Cisco Software-Defined Access. This is a technical book describing how SDA works. If you weren't present at the beginning, the idea behind the contest is the way you can win it is by one of two ways. Okay, so one way is you can tell me why is my stream useful. Like if you started learning network programmability because you started watching a stream, or maybe you took some code that I wrote and applied it in your environment. So I would like to hear that. Or maybe another way is to tell me if you have an interesting idea what I should cover in more details. Obviously, it should not be just high level cover napalm, right? If you have some interesting problems that you think it would be cool to show on the stream, please let me know. The timeline for this is like around 1 or 2 streams, so up to 6 hours. If your task fits into that, I may do it live for you, and you may even win a book. So I will select the one person which response I like the most, and initial deadline for the submissions will be 3 weeks from now. So it will be, I don't remember the date, somewhere in the middle, so like 20th of May or something. So if you will not have enough submission, or I will not really like one, so we will extend this. To submit, please send an email to email address below. It should be contact@dmfigel.me. We will have a stream next time, next Sunday. I'm not 100% sure what we are going to cover, but it could be either RESTconf or napalm. I'm still thinking, or maybe telemetry. Not 100% sure. So telemetry, RESTconf, or napalm, one of those things. We will not have stream in 2 weeks though, so because I will be again traveling. Okay, so okay, and there is a question how to contact you. So there are 2 ways. Specifically for submissions, use my email address that you can find below in the Twitch description. If you just would like to talk to me, we also have a Discord channel. The link should be also in the description. This is where I'm trying to organize some kind of community around my stream. So feel free to engage in the chat where we could talk between the streams. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in today. I wish you an easy working week ahead, and take care. See you next week. Bye.